just completed transformations part 1. So we've already dealt with the whole thing of moving up, down, left, right, shrink, expand, vertically, horizontally, all that type of transformation. So we've already talked about that part. But now let's start applying what we know to some other situations. So for example here, let's go to part 2 of transformations here. And let's come to example 1. And there's example 1a and example 1b. So for example 1a, they gave you a graph already of the function. But we need to create the equation, or you can say function, from the given equation or the given graph. I'm going to write the word function right here. Oh, I didn't write anything up there. Oh my gosh. Function. Oh, Jesus. Let me use my finger then. Function. All right. So here, if we look at it, we already know that our parent function, and again, this is why we went through those parent functions, because it's going to be important here. So our parent function, we know, is f of x equals, because it's a cubic function, x cubed. So we know that because it's a cubic function, that's a graph. So with this, we know when it comes to our transformations that this function is going to look like something like this, because it is a cubic function. So we know it's going to be something like that, something dealing with that. Let me see if I can change one color. There you go. So here, we have to look at our transformations and moving around. If we look at it, it doesn't really look like it's been vertically stretched or shrunk or anything of that sort, horizontally or anything. It looks pretty much about the same. So with that, we're not going to deal with the a. So no a here. No a value. Because there's no shrinking, there's no shrinking or expanding. There's no compressing, no shrinking, or expanding, or widening. So pretty much it looks the same. So at that point, there's no a. So now we should go over to our next part and try to see, okay, is there anything that's moved to the left or right? Is there anything that's moved up or down? So here we know we went over 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went over to the right 4. And then from the other part, we can see, and let me use green here, we actually went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we went up 5. That's interesting. All right, so cool. So we went over 4 to the right, and we went up 5. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, went up 5. So with this, we know left or right is B. So B goes left or right. Okay, and we also know when it comes to B that it goes opposite of what you think. Opposite of what you think. So if it is a 4 and it goes to the right, normally you would think, okay, that's plus 4. But remember, you think opposite of what you think, opposite of what was, or what was given to you. So opposite of what you think. So if you go to the right, that normally is a positive 4. But because just opposite, that means B is going to be a negative 4. Because it's opposite of what you think. Opposite of what you think. All right, and then C stays the same of what you really think. So if it's a positive 5, it means it went up 5. So it means it's going to go up 5 there. So it's, so let's see, C goes up or down. So that means here it's going to go plus 5. So when we write out our equation, we're going to substitute the number for B and the number for C, and then we're done. And as you notice here, this requires you to know your transformations and know what we talked about with our transformations. So this is not just something that you can just pick up and be like, bam, done. It's something that you must remember. So not just saying, okay, well, we went through that earlier. You have to study it. You have to get it. You have to remember it. All right, so with that, that's going to be our final answer. All we did is substitute in for B. We said B was -4, so we put -4 in that spot. This is C here. We said C was 5, +5, and we put +5 right there. And so that's our equation that we're looking at. Yay. Woo. Yes. All right, so then let's go to our next equation here. And we're like, whoa, okay, now we're down here. All right, so if you need to actually go back and watch that, go back up and look at that, just go back up and hit pause and then watch it again, or just copy that part down. All right, now again here, the first step is to go ahead and figure out what is your parent function. That's always the first step. It's a parent function. Whoop, can't spell function right. So parent function. So we're looking at it, we look at that part, and we should be able to tell what function that is. We should be able to. And you should be able to say that is x squared, your quadratic function, your parabola. Parabola. All right, so looking at this, again, let me change it to purple this time. Hopefully it will write purple. Yes, it did. Hopefully it won't change colors. And put the square there because we know it's quadratic. All right, so with this again, it doesn't look like it's shrink or expanded, so there's no A. There's no A here because it didn't shrink or expand. And we explained that on the one right above it, so I'm not going to explain it again here. So there's no A. So there is a B, which we know that goes left or right, and we know there's a C that goes up and down. Okay. So again, remember, it goes opposite of what you think. So if we were to look over here for our B, let me change the color, and hopefully the color changes this time. Please change for me. So if we look here, we go over to the right, sorry, to the left. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we went to the left 6. And so again, remember, if it goes to the left, it normally would be negative. It would make sense to be negative. But remember, you're thinking opposite of what you think for B. So if this is left 6, we said that that would actually mean a +6 for B. Remember, it's opposite of what you think. Opposite of what you think. B is always opposite. That's why we spent that time talking about it earlier. All right, then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. All right, so if we're going down 5, that means -5. All right, but then we have one more transformation that's happening right here. One more. And hopefully you can see it. Normally a parabola opens up, but this one's opening down. So that means that we have a negative happening here. So there's a negative that's happening. So when we do this, there's no A, but there's a negative in front because it flipped the function. That's right, function flipped. So flipped function, I should say. All right, so we have a flipped function there. Let's say it's flipped, F-L-I-P-P-E-D, flipped function. Yes, that's function. All right, so with this, we'll do f of x equals negative, because it's a negative, the function flipped, and that goes in the front. There's no A, so x plus 6, which means it goes to the left 6, then -5. And that's our new function. And so with that, just make sure you guys remember, when it comes to these functions, you have to remember your transformations and be able to put the function together. All right.